Hola a todos. Welcome to Uno Souls Chat. I'm your producer, Phillip Johnson, here with the host, Brigitta Toruño. Hi, Brigitta.
Hi, Philip. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm happy to be back here talking with you again.
Me
Um,
too.
and this week, we are talking about forgiveness, and particularly a question which is seeking forgiveness selfish?
Yeah. Didn't someone from our audience, one of our listeners, bring that up for us?
I think so. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah. They phrased it sort of in that way, and it's very thought provoking.
it is very thought
Um,
provoking. It's a very big topic, big question, and it's been written about by a lot of, you know, spiritual people in different lifetimes because it's something, even from the time of Jesus, right? I mean, it's a really big topic.
yeah, it really is, and I think it's something that I think everyone goes through, either seeking forgiveness, or trying to forgive people in their life. And um, I'm going to say, for me, the answer to that question is seeking forgiveness selfish. I'm going to say yes, it is.
Okay.
But with a little bit of a caveat, because I also think that seeking forgiveness is humbling. And I think that it takes bravery and strength. Um, and it requires you to, you know, sort of look beyond yourself and think about the people who you might have harmed or wronged. Um, but I also think that it can also be selfish, because you're trying, in some instances you want to feel better about maybe something that you've done,
Mhm.
but I think it's okay for it to be all those things, for me at least.
Mhm.
Um so yeah.
Yeah, that's really insightful, Philip. I always love to hear your thoughts around these different subjects because it's very insightful. So thank you for that. Yeah, and I guess if I were to answer, is seeking forgiveness selfish? I would say that It's not selfish, but I do see it as a process, and it's that whole idea that you said about, you know, I'm gonna, I want this forgiveness, and I think that's when the ego comes in, like, I need to have this forgiveness, can you give it to me because it's going to make me feel better. And I guess that's what I'm getting at when I say that I don't think it's selfish if you
Right.
follow a particular process, which is not an easy process at all. But
Mhm.
I think that before I would ask someone to forgive me, I would first want to forgive myself. And to forgive myself, I first need to work on having compassion for myself and loving myself. So, oh boy, I mean, just those things it's a process, right? I mean, it could take months or years, and hopefully it wouldn't, but really, I just feel like to come to that from an authentic place of seeking forgiveness, then that's what I feel what I would do. And I kind of see it as some loose steps, right? So the first thing would be the awareness, to be aware that I hurt someone, and that I feel terrible for having done that, but yet it's done. And then I have to reflect on, why did this happen? How did we get here to this place of
Mm.
hurt and suffering? And I think, again, going back to the ego, I think that sometimes that's what takes over in a particular relationship, and you set aside just, having the compassion for the other person in the first place, and then I would just really work hard to look at that problem that we had, and to process the negative emotions inside of me. And of course, that has its own process, to process resentment, anger, fear. Sometimes those are the places that we come from when we're hurting somebody. And so as I work through those emotions, then I feel like it would bring a place of compassion to myself,
Hmm.
and understanding, and a place of loving myself. And
Hmm.
because now I've worked through those negative emotions of where I was when I hurt the person. And then as I'm in that better place, I feel like I can start to forgive myself for what I did. And because if I don't forgive, again, just going back to, if I don't forgive myself, then I just think it would bring me more suffering. And I wouldn't come from that authentic place when I'm asking the other person for forgiveness. Um, and I have a couple of quotes, if you don't mind me sharing them. And the first one, Buddha said, holding hatred in the heart is like drinking poison and hoping others will die.
Wow, that's actually very powerful.
Yeah. Can I repeat that?
Yes.
Holding hatred in the heart is like drinking poison and hoping others will die. Right?
That resonates a lot with me and with this theme of forgiveness, because I mean, everything that you said, it rings so true, and it's such a complicated sort of situation or area to approach, and so many different layers to work through.
Yeah.
But that quote really does resonate a lot with me, because if you're not able to forgive, then that does just sort of eat away at you over time.
Exactly.
And I feel like in the beginning stages, in those moments, you're thinking, no, I'm gonna hold on to this, because you sort of feel self-righteous about it, and you want to you know hold it over the person's head, or just have something that you is in your corner. But yeah, I mean, over time it just wears away at you
Mm.
like a poison. I mean, that is a really sort of just amazing way to put that, for
Oh,
lack of a
good.
better
Yeah,
word.
I'm glad it resonated with you. I felt the same way about it. And then Oprah Winfrey also had one uh, I think it says a lot too. True forgiveness is when you can say, thank you for that experience. And oh
Mm,
boy, that one really also hit me too, because to me, when you get to the point of saying, thank you for that experience, it's because you've worked through those negative emotions, and getting to a point of loving yourself, forgiving yourself, and then being able to ask the other person for forgiveness. Because that would be the final step, obviously, right? To get to that point where you have forgiven yourself, and then you feel like you can authentically say, I am sorry, and can you forgive me? um
right, right.
and
I mean, sorry, go ahead.
no, yeah, go ahead.
It is it's such a complicated back and forth, even with yourself, and
Yeah,
with the person, or the groups of people, whatever the situation is. But
yeah,
it's so, to get to that point of thanking that experience. It really does take time, and it will, and a process. It takes a process, just like you were saying.
yeah,
And I think that it's hard to know if you're doing it right in the moment, or in the weeks or the months or whatever that period is.
hmm,
But I mean, the feeling of when that does sort of just click over for you, where you yourself actually have, released that harm that has been done to you, or that you have been holding on to. It for me, it sometimes just turns on like a light bulb, and I feel like a weight has been lifted, and I can actually process that out, and then get to that stage of what you just said, of thanking it.
yeah, exactly. And my thoughts around it are also that because you've reached that place of of forgiving yourself and asking the other person for forgiveness, it doesn't mean that you forget. And I do think that it's an important piece, at least. Again, this is just my perspective, and everybody has the right to their own opinion of how they see this, but um and it also doesn't mean what the other person did was okay necessarily. Like you've forgiven the actions. It means, I think it also means that I've let go of the anger now, the frustration, the fear, whatever emotion that brought up. Um, but that but that forgiveness is something that you learn from, because the action that happened hurt the other person or hurt you, right?
Right.
And so you want to be aware of that, if especially if it was something that was traumatic, and so you don't want to be in that situation again. And but you also, so you need to know, okay, this causes me um anxiety, problems, anger. I don't want to put myself in that place, but I am going to forgive this person, you know.
Mm-hmm. You know, honestly, when you had said this to me before, because we've been talking about this leading up to this chat for a couple of months, I think,
Yes.
and you had said that, and it sort of struck me in the moment, and I didn't verbalize anything, but I've been thinking about it since then, because this lesson that we sort of grow up with and around us in our communities and society is like forgive and forget, forgive and forget.
Mm.
And, it feels like it's sort of been drilled into you that you have to also forget to completely move on.
Mm.
But, I think that we, to your point, need to reframe that, right? Because you can't just forget, because then you'll be doing a disservice to yourself, just like you were saying. So,
Mhm.
I mean, I would think that it would even be more, forgive and learn.
Wow, I like that. I like that a lot. Yeah.
That's what I've come to, because you have to, right? For your own self. And then also sometimes for the other person. So let's say it is a one-on-one situation that's happened, and you want to welcome that person back into your life. It has to be in a different kind of way, for the sake of yourself, them, and for the relationship that you would be creating.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Well, I have a couple of other quotes that I think, I mean, I love, because this is, again, such a big topic. There are these amazing, spiritual people and historical people that have written about it. This one is Mahatma Gandhi, and he said, "The weak can never forgive. Forgiveness is the attribute of the strong."
Mm,
Oh, that's big.
that one is really big.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very big topic. It
Yeah.
is.
Yeah. Yeah. It would be fun to have our listeners chime in if they want to write any questions in the comments once we post this. It would be fun to get a little bit of back and forth going, to hear what their opinion is, because I think it's different. It's slightly different for everybody. I think most people realize, okay, I'm going to ask this person for forgiveness, or I'm going to forgive this person. But what does it mean to them? Like, how deep do you go with it, or you just say it and feel like, if I say it, it's enough. I'll feel it come through me at some point, or I don't know. It's really interesting, I think, to see how
Yeah,
people.
I think so too. You're completely right. People should, leave comments on wherever you're listening, and let us also, what are your tips for forgiveness, right? Because no one gets it perfect, and
Yeah.
it's a process, like Brigitta, you've been saying. So
Mhm.
absolutely.
Yeah.
It's a growing question. Is seeking
Yeah.
forgiveness selfish?
Yeah. Yeah. And just as a last quote from Buddha, he
Mm.
teaches that forgiveness can make our soul peaceful. So I love, love, love that. And I've so enjoyed sharing this time with you, Philip, to chat about forgiveness and just give our own personal opinions about it. And I've really enjoyed it. So thank you for.
Yeah, I've enjoyed it too. Thank you. Thank you very much. What a beautiful quote to end on as well.
Great. Well, thank you.
Thank you so much for listening to Uno Souls Chat. You can find us at www.unosouls.com and on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. I would love to hear from you if you would like to chat with me. Have a beautiful week and see you at the next episode.